Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for The Flash, and this is part 2 of the Earth-2 episode. So let's get started. We have a couple storylines going on. Our first storyline, obviously, with Jesse and Barry, them trying to escape Zoom's lair, and then having another kind of piece to the puzzle there, because there is another prisoner who's kind of giving them, not Morse code, but some sort of code to tell them something about Jay. Either he is Jay, or, you know, maybe Earth-2 Jay has something to do with this. We'll get into that story. But by the end, we get to see our second story, where our team of Earth-2 teams up with Killer Frost to try to go into Zoom's lair, and they're able to save everybody pretty much. Barry kind of has to save himself, though, and have the confidence to save himself. But it seemed like Killer Frost was on their team, and then she betrayed them, and then she was on their team again. And that's kind of what was going on. And for the other part of the episode, it had to do with Earth-1, and Caitlin and Iris kind of working together, but mostly about Velocity 9, creating that, and seeing what Jay's been up to. Can he get his Speed Force back? And yeah, so that's kind of what was going on. And the big cliffhanger of this episode is that Jesse and Harry, they go to Earth-1, because that's where they can be safe, and that is where they'll have story in the continuation of Flash. Obviously, they couldn't stay on Earth-2. And then, in the end, we get to see Jay, which you knew that was going to happen. He was staying too close to that portal, but he's grabbed by Zoom. It seems like, I don't think he's dead. I think he was grabbed. I don't personally think he's dead. But I have some theories about that. But what I think of the episode overall, I thought it was a solid episode. I will say, in my personal mind, I was kind of hyping up this episode more than what I got. There's some, not predictable stuff, but yeah, predictable stuff. Like the ending, like it was a shocker that Jay got sucked in from Zoom, but at the same time, like, Caitlin, she has no role for the season, and most of her role was, you know, being with Jay, and then, of course, the repeated storyline of last season, she loses someone she loves. How many times can we see that? I don't know, and that's why I kind of feel like that version of Caitlin is not safe for this season or next season, because it just seems like they don't have a lot of story for her, because they don't want to make her Killer Frost, and I have a feeling they might kill off this version of Caitlin and then get the Killer Frost version of Caitlin, especially since they focus so much on her in this episode. But I just had a laugh in that ending, because it's just like, because I keep saying in my reviews I want more with Caitlin, and it's a shame they keep putting her in these subplots, and then in the end the same thing happens, where obviously you're upset, but at the same time, I've seen this already 3 times now, because you already even saw the Killer Frost version lose their love, so we'll see where that continues. But I also have some theories on Jay. I really do think Jay's related to Zoom in some way. I don't know how they would do it, but I think Earth-2 Jay has something to do with Zoom, especially because he left for a little while in this episode, so maybe he was like going back and forth of being Zoom. I don't know, because we didn't really see Zoom too much in this episode, that maybe they could done the switch, but then how would he have caught Jay of Earth-2? But at the same time, they trick us last season with, you know, Reverse Flash and Harrison Wells being in the same place, so maybe they're doing the same thing with this Jay, or maybe Earth-1 Jay has something to do with it. I have no clue, but I do think Earth-2 Jay is a little sketchy. I still don't trust him, and obviously we'll see if we even see more of him after that cliffhanger, which I'm sure we will. So yeah, what I was saying, this episode, I feel like a lot of the things were revealed before we watched the episode, so like in trailers or, you know, interviews, we kind of already knew, alright, Killer Frost is going to help them because of the photos, and we knew this was, I mean, that's kind of what happens, you know, I feel like the story didn't progress too much as I wanted to, but it was nice to see a bit more of Zoom, because, hey, that's what this season's all about. So, in that respect, we do progress the story of the villain, which was great. Like I said, that's been kind of a negative this season. We haven't seen enough of Zoom, because they're trying to leave that mystery of the villain. And of course Jessie, I want to talk about her because she's a character I've been really looking forward to for the show. It was nice to see her, nice to kind of show that she has a science background, which obviously has to do with her comic book character also. I am really curious to see how she becomes Jessie Quick, if she'll become Jessie Quick, and how long it'll take. At first, you know, my theory beginning before, you know, we dug a little bit into her character, I thought she already had the Speed Force, which I think would have made more sense of why Zoom kidnapped her. But obviously, they fix that in the plot because you want to hurt Harry Wells. But yeah, I thought she would have the Speed Force and like do a little bit more in this episode. She definitely played some damselly in distressy. That's totally not a word. But yeah, she definitely played the damsel in this episode. Which kind of bothered me, but at the same time, I hope they do more with her, especially now that she's on Earth-1, and I feel like the season was going to be the season of speedsters, and right now it's the season of teasing speedsters, because you have Wally who doesn't have the speed, which I don't want to see him have the speed just yet, because I think he needs to make the connection with Barry. Jessie, I think this honestly could have been an awesome time for her to get the Speed Force, but maybe they'll play with Velocity 9, hopefully play with the Speed Force formula. So we'll see with that. But yeah, going back to another storyline in this episode, the Caitlin and Iris storyline, it was nice to see them kind of help each other and them be the heroes of the day in a way. I like that, but at the same time, like, I was like, I need to go back to Earth-2, you know? Because I felt like that storyline was a bit on the fillerish side. It's just like, alright, I don't think we need this kind of random villain right now when we're dealing with Zoom, you know? He's the main villain. I didn't think we needed the random villain, but I guess it's just to make Iris and Caitlin do something in this episode and remind us, yes, Earth-1 is still existing, you know? Yes, it's still part of the plot. So, that was happening in this episode too. I will say I loved Barry and Iris in Earth-2. I thought they had a really fun dynamic, and Barry of Earth-2 was so much fun, and Grant Gustin played him so well, where he had all these different awesome quirks in the episode. Hopefully we get to see Earth-2 Barry and Earth-2 Iris in the future. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a good episode, but I think I personally overhyped it for myself. But we'll see where it goes. It seems like next episode is gonna be a filler with the Killer Shark. That's not it. Why can't I think of his name? The shark episode. But we'll see if it ends up becoming a filler or this like fun episode, especially because we had you know, 2 big Zoom episodes this week and last week. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Of course, I'll have a review for The Flash next week, and this is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there's links from my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter, and don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.